Greetings, everyone. I'm very delighted to be moderating this session on creating a vibrant sport ecosystem that inspires, empowers, and activates. We will explore how the Mohammed bin Salman Misk Foundation, along with its expanding ecosystem of subsidiaries, including Misk City, Riyadh schools, is helping build a more active and vibrant community. Together, they're building spaces, creating programs, and fostering a learning environment that encourages participation and talent development at all levels to tackle both sides. This conversation sits at the heart of movement and impact, exploring how sports can shape not just athletes, but the broader Saudi community and beyond. Please welcome our two distinguished speakers, Mr. Loay Alfi. He's the Executive Director of Strategy and Partnerships at Misk City. With over 2 decades of experience shaping national and institutional strategies across government and not-for-profit entities, he has led transformative programs that bridge vision with execution. At Misk City, he has driven the city's strategic positioning, ecosystem, and cluster development and activation across innovation, education, culture, and sports. Previously, he played roles in advancing transformation programs within the Ministry of Industry and Mineral Resources and at KAUST. He is dedicated to creating ecosystems where purpose, talent, and innovation converge to power Saudi Arabia's future. So welcome, Mr. Loay.
أهلا وسهلا.
I would also like to welcome Mr. Abdulaziz Abuzaid. He's the Sports Director General at Misk Foundation, a strategy-driven leader with over 15 years experience delivering growth, transformation, and operational excellence across public and private sectors. In recent years, he brought strategic discipline into the sports sector, where he spearheaded ventures that fuse elite athletic development with education and structured talent pathways, like creating the first of its kind elite football academy embedded within a private K-12 school in Riyadh. Mr. Abdulaziz's work extends to shaping system-level sport programs. So welcome, Mr. Abdulaziz.
Welcome.
So to get started, His Royal Highness Prince Mohammed bin Salman envisioned Misk City as an urban destination of a thriving tomorrow. Building a vibrant community is essential to this vision, and we are beginning to see this shape into life. So, Mr. Loay, can we start off by you explaining more about Misk Foundation and Mohammed bin Salman Not-for-Profit City?
Excellent. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. It seems like people are still enjoying the break, but it's all about the quality. So I hope this crowd is the crowd that want to understand more about the Misk Foundation and the Misk City. This is a very dear question to my heart when people ask me about, Misk Foundation and Misk City and how do they integrate. Basically, it's a journey of 15 years, almost. So Misk Foundation was established in 2011 when His Royal Highness thought of establishing something that will empower Saudi youth. 5 years later, he established in 2016 the Misk schools to uplift the education of K1 to 12. A year later, in 2017, he established the Misk Art Institute, and then manga production got integrated into the Misk ecosystem. In 2018, precisely, he started to strategize for Misk City, and in 2021, November, 10 years after the establishment, he announced Mohammed bin Salman Non-Profit City as the first non-profit city in the world that will contribute to achieving the goals of the foundation around empowering youth. It will also host the Misk Foundation HQ and the different entities of Misk Foundation. And it will also contribute to Innovation Index of the Kingdom. So when we talk about the city is really mirroring the Misk Foundation mission around empowering youth. So in Misk Foundation, there is a number of programs that would empower youth along with other entities, and Misk City is more of the physical infrastructure to do so. Now, when we talk about the city vision, is to become a globally recognized district for innovation, And we really have four focus areas that we focus on in the city, really representing the assets that we have. We have innovation, education, art and culture, and sports. And sport is really the topic that we're talking about today and what we're discussing.
Wonderful. So you mentioned that sports is one of the main focus areas for the city. So Mr. Abdulaziz, why did Misk elevate sports as a strategic sector to invest in?
Am I audible? Okay. So basically, if you think about Misk, as Loay said, it's a youth-focused organization that has been building skills, developing identities, competitiveness within youth. So if you think about sport in that, it's really just an extension of that talent development that we've been doing. An extension that is only flavored with sports. But when we did a strategic look over the sports, we actually identified, along with what Loay said as a vision of Misk, two key objectives we can really play on. Number one is around talent development, and we can measure our success, number of athletes who've been scouted, drafted to clubs, federation, etc. Or the participation, which is weekly hours or number of hours of participation that ties directly with the national sports strategy as well of Ministry of Sport, as Ibrahim previously highlighted. So this is, if you think about it, then sport has just became something, since we're blessed with a Misk City, since we have that vast and diverse ecosystem, sport is just an extension that makes sense for us to play in.
Okay, great. And Mr. Loay, what makes Misk City uniquely positioned to become a vibrant sports ecosystem? You've mentioned about the foundation and you also explained the focus areas, but what makes it unique?
Excellent. Maybe I go a level up and say what makes Misk City unique. We have a 4 pillars value proposition that we think makes Mohammed bin Salman non-profit city, Misk City unique. One is the innovation ecosystem that we're trying to build through innovation projects that we're investing in and attracting partners to do the same. The second is talent development and talent development and education through also the different schools that we have within the city and the different programs that my colleague mentioned in Misk Foundation will all be operated in Misk City. A third and fourth element is more real estate focused, which is the infrastructure and services. We believe it's second to none with smart infrastructure and the community, a vibrant community, which is basically the recreationals and the schools and the housings and so on. So when we talk about the sports, we have already around 25 sports facility up and running in what we call the Lower Wadi Sports Facility. And really, when we look at this facility, we look at them really at 2 different ways. We see that these facilities are good activation tools for the city, and also we use them for talent development, which my colleague will touch on throughout this panel.
Yes, we've seen those, the lower sport park. It's amazing facilities, and there are multiple sports. Can you mention the type of sports that are in the city? Like what fields are available other than the type of courts?
Yeah, I mean, you're familiar with
Yes.
half of them through the running group. But of course, football, paddle, BMX, and other sports facility are all part of the Lower Wadi.
Yes. All right, amazing. So moving towards more of talent development and how do we empower the talent and develop those talents? To Mr. Abdulaziz, how do Misk programs empower youth to become future Saudi sport leaders or athletes?
So first of all, when we say Misk, we say Misk ecosystem, and then this is how I'm going to address it in my next answer. But what Loay just explained is really the hardware of everything. The software of that is the programming. And for us, we follow a simple sport framework that everyone follows, but it's going to be a bit tailored to our needs. So we have participate, develop, compete. This is the framework we work under. And if there is a motto or something that we can be flagged for or be praised for is that Misk as an ecosystem, we don't chase medal, and this is something unique to us. Clubs, federations, they actually are mandated to chase medals and take medals. We are not. We're different. We're trying to build the human being, the mindset, the skills that would later on be the complete athletes, if you will. So with that, we've had, as Loay said previously, we have a couple of assets, but we've been, in order to develop this, we've been carefully, we carefully designed the sports that we play in. We have more than 27 assets, sport assets. We're talking Misk School, Riyadh School, Misk City. So if we played everywhere, I think we would not be, the quality of program would be a bit probably jeopardized. But we focus on 5 to 6 sports that we have the right to win, because it is one of those right to win because we have the assets, and ability to win as well, because also it's prioritized among the national agenda, within the national sport. And here, for example, is athletics, football, tennis, basketball, which also has a higher participation rate if you think about it. And this is how we tie things a bit together. When it comes to delivery of program, I think this is where we're also unique. We want to deliver this program or activate these sports through either operators, partners, or better yet, through young leaders who are co-creating these programs. And this is also something that we could create a multiplier effect for us to ensure that our impact is long-lasting through beneficiaries or through others.
This is amazing because investing in the people and the youth is more important. We can have assets, but if you don't have the people who can actually benefit from it, will be as beneficial. So when we talk about talent, we have two things: either it's professional athletes or just community sport enthusiasts. How do you approach talent development within the professional sports?
So let's take an example of talent here in the case of, for example, the Riyadh School Football Academy that we just touched upon. Riyadh School is a school with a legacy of 50 years that has continuously developed and breeded leaders for the kingdom. So it only makes sense that since Riyadh School is part of Misk Foundation, it makes sense that we could create, actually, as Riyadh School is expanding, we could have created a Riyadh School Football Academy that will have this legacy, but also it has its own merit. So we developed a K-12 program, or Pioneer K-12, which is from grade 1 to grade 12, or in the world of football from under 7 till under 17, where we have a world-class curriculum, academic curriculum, blended and merged with an elite academic development, elite football development that should have the next gen of footballers developed through the academy. Just as some stats here, we had around 160 players so far. They have been trained by top coaches from leading European clubs and Saudis as well. And so far, we're participating with Mahad Next Gen Championship. We're also part of SAF League. So I think we're seeing some early successes, but this is one of the models that we develop talent professionally. We also have models for the participant and mass participation offering, aside from the professional side, which we'll touch upon in a bit.
Yes, and I think it's very powerful to have these really high quality programs embedded within the academic culture and ensure that all these students have that exposure to develop those talents. That's amazing. So moving to the mass participation, Mr. Loay, what sport activations or how are community sport activations in the city help increase participation and engagement?
So we're already active 3 years ago when we started the Misk schools with over 35 sports. So this is the only school in the world that has 35 sports all together in one school. This was followed by a flagship branch of Riyadh School, which is also another unique element of Misk City that consists of a number of sports activity, and the Lower Wadi Sports Park. Now, for the Lower Wadi Sports Park, we already started partnerships with some of the Saudi sports federation, like the Sports for All, the Tennis Federation, Extreme Sports, and others to basically come and do what my colleagues mentioned, run competitions, do some activities. And our sports strategy, whether it comes from the foundation or the city, is very well aligned with Vision 2030 and well aligned with the national sports strategy of the country. So for us, as I mentioned earlier, the sports, we look at it as not only a talent development tool, it's also an attraction tool and activation pad as well for the city. And later, recreational for the visitors and the residents of the city.
Wonderful. So when you say attraction, this is also an investment attraction. It can be an investment attraction. So what investment opportunities exist today in Misk City when it comes to sports?
Oh, tremendous. We are very open to business now. We are already in discussion with, we have the sports facility that we talked about here within the city, but we're also thinking about expanding that, and that would require, of course, participating with or working closely with the private sector to do so. We're very open to bringing in investors, bringing in operators to operate some of those facility. We obviously need a gym, so we will also need we need studios, body weight, and cool stuff for sports. So we have a full sports agenda that we'll be sharing with everyone through our social channels as we go. And there'll be a lot of nice things that we'll be announcing.
Wonderful. Is there anything in specific that is a priority for future applications when it comes to the investments? Like you mentioned facilities, you've mentioned a couple of different technology-based, let's say, innovations that can be embedded. Anything else? Will this also include programs for?
Yeah, sure. I mean, in addition to sports partners, operators, and so on, we're also going to be a soft landing for sport tech startups as well, because we're all about entrepreneurship. So we will have what we call our version of an innovation center that will attract startups to set up companies within what we call Al-Mishraq, which is the heart of Misk City. There'll be an innovation center, and one of the focuses would be the sport tech startups and activities where people can come, start, launch, and grow their businesses in the sport sectors.
Wonderful.
Do you guys hear us well?
They're still here, so I think they hear us well. Okay, so this is wonderful. So when we're looking more to the future and more towards the broader Misk subsidiaries in general, how could an integrated sports sector accelerate this impact?
So if you look again, as we've discussed, Misk has almost 7 or 8 entities that operates in arts and culture, innovation, as I said, stuff around media and gaming, along with the talent development that we're already having as part of the foundation. So each one of those entities can have an angle for it that could be tapped from the sports side. So just an example, and I can list a few examples here. The community development track that we have, their focus there is to incubate, accelerate youth-led initiative that to become an organization, sustainable organization that it could last. And for example, here we have your running club, RUR. You started there, and now you mashallah, more than 2 years into operation. So this community-led program, co-created program, are already leading or enhancing the level of participation that we're having, which again, to my point earlier, the multiplier effect that is created. This is the community development. If you look at media and gaming, for example, we have manga production. Manga production is an anime production where messages and a lot of, you can consider it the soft power of sport that could be utilized. And here, manga is also, by the way, is the IP holder or the executive rights holder of Captain Sabusa, which is Captain Majid Bil Arabi. We all know, we've been raised to that. This, and just a fun fact, this specific Captain IP was one of the, not the only one, but one of the leading factors that Japan reached the way it is right now, because it spurs a level of interest among the 80s and 90s generation to just participate in football, which now we see they took it further, and Japan is among the top 20 club nation in the world. If you look at it from an innovation, as Loay said, needless to say that we are a soft landing to those tech startups in the city where sport tech could potentially not only incubate, accelerate here, but also potentially be hosted within the city as we create that vibrant ecosystem. Finally, you look at it from arts and culture, for example. Now you cannot, every single cup or one of the events start with an art piece. For example, the Paris 2024, the China, what they did in 2008. It's really a performing art if you think about it. So we have Misk Art Institute, we have Misk Culture, which is heritage, Misk Heritage Institute. Those two could also add to the sport from their own angle. So this kind of complete the picture. We have multiple angles that potentially, or I would say, it's a void. No one is yet tapping into it. And this is where Misk can add value to the ecosystem, to the sport ecosystem in general.
And
But
it's,
who's Captain Majid? And I don't know Captain Majid.
I was born in the 80s, so.
But this is amazing that sports is embedded within all these different sectors, and I think the exposure for sports can be different and can be perceived differently depending on what the person likes. So if someone is interested in arts, they'll get that exposure from there, from gaming. So it's really smart and to tackle and embed sports within all these within the culture in general. As we conclude, I mean, we want just to hear from you like a key message or advice that we would like to share with the audience in general, or some just key messages. Mr. Loay, you want to go?
Okay. So one key message I always like to end my talks with is that Misk in general is to coexist with Vision 2030. Meaning we, through the different activities that me and my colleagues mentioned, we don't really necessarily would like to take the lead on different things, but we rather get involved in areas that need development. We coexist with the vision, develop it. Once this area is developed, we might, jump into another area and a new area and a new area, and that's really the style of Misk from day one. If we look at Misk Art Institute, for example, I'll give you an example. In 2017, it started in 2017. Ministry of Culture started in 2018. So there was an interference there. Visual art is a very important sector. And then in 2018, there was a full Ministry of 11 commissions of all the cultural aspects. And then we continue to do things differently. And same, I think, with sports. We don't necessarily, we're not going to be the world-class sports hub as Misk City, but we will try to contribute wherever we can from a sport angle in full alignment and coexistence with Vision 2030. So with that, I think my last comment would be to tell you that I would like to invite you all. In a few months from now, we will launch the foundational phase of the city. So I would say in 4 to 5 months from now, you will be able to see through our social media that we will be launching our foundational phase of the city and more to come. Thank you so much.
Wonderful. And Mr. Abdulaziz?
I want to add to that. So we're blessed with a problem that is probably nice to have, honestly, which is that we have our infrastructure. So that problem is solved. What we really now is how to operate this infrastructure at the most efficient way, the most optimum way, and more importantly, at a way where we can add value to the sport ecosystem. So, and again, when you look at Misk ecosystem as a whole, we can talk with anyone from arts all the way till the at sport tech, all the way to the professional developers or clubs potentially. You can consider us the sandbox of some of the ideas that could be tested, prototyped in the city, because it is exactly within the DNA of the city that we test and incubate. But also ideas like, or stuff like around operation of assets, stuff around sponsorship potentially for clubs that, or the academies that we're having, or some assets that we're having, it's also open to discussion, because this whole thing cannot be maintained by ourselves. We coexist with the partners, and we invite them to, as Loay said, we invite them not only to the foundation phase, but also to keep in touch with us always, looking up for those opportunities, no matter what it is, as long as it has a sport related.
Yes.
One last thing, we forgot to mention the live examples that we have here, right? So RUR, so Dr. Amal is the chairperson of RUR, is a running group, and basically this is a very typical example of how an NPO, a non-profit organization, benefited from the community engagement programs offered by Misk Foundation to establish the RUR group, and then they came to Misk City to basically run some of the activation of the running on our running track. So this is live example. We did not pay her or anything to come to stage and be the real example, but she can tell you a bit about it.
Yes, it was truly a transformative phase for us. We started as a community initiative in 2016 when sport wasn't very common, especially in the community. And after a couple of years, with the support from Sports for All Federation, we expanded, and then we reached a stage where we wanted to expand, but we were limited. So it was a perfect time to join a Misk program dedicated to supporting all these initiatives and transform it into a not-for-profit organization. So within the incubator of, it was 3 months, we graduated with a cohort, with a group of entities as a not-for-profit organization, and it really changed our operations. It allowed us to expand our impact and also to become more sustainable, which was a challenge for any community initiative. So we really appreciate Misk's support, and we feel like we're part of the growing family. Thank you both. Thank you both for this very enlightening conversation. We have a couple of minutes for questions. If the audience has any, we can take some questions. Yes? Have the mic.
Hello. Thank you for the time. It's really, and we got more details about the Misk. So thank you. We are working now in the market to build a company.
Can you raise your volume? Yeah. Sorry, we can't hear. Can you hear?
Now it's clear, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you for the time. It was really good, and thank you for giving us, like everything about Misk. For us, I have a question about the. You mentioned that you will care about the any companies, startup companies, in the area of sports. So we have a startup company in the sport tech. We are working in the football data analytics. So I just need to ask, what kind of business you will care about to give it investment? Like there is a specific kind of business for sport, or you have just what is the kind of business model which you will support in investment?
So just to restate your question, what's Misk's long vision in?
Yeah.
We're having a hard time to hear, that's why.
What kind of startups, right?
Yes, exactly, yeah.
Yeah, sure. I mean, emerging tech goes across all sectors, as we know, and everything. Now there is like an emerging technology angle too. So sports as well, the same. I think in the next 5 to 7 to 8 years, there'll be a number of sport tech activities. So this could be a good focus for sports.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Thanks.
Question?
مرة صعب السماع. مرة صعب. ما يسمع شيء.
بس هم سامعينك انه مو صعب.
Hello, everyone. Thank you. My question is, what will be focus in the Misk city of over the next 10 years for Mr. Strategy? Thank you.
Okay, so partnerships, basically, that's a very simple answer. So the question is, what is the focus of Next City in the next 10 years? I think we are at a very good stage to partner with everybody because we have so far over the past 5 years since the announcement, or 4 years, we have invested tremendously on the infrastructure, and we have developed so far 50% of the developmental plan of the city. So at this stage, I think we're really well suited to basically start working with partners, start to involve the private sector with us, and not only on development, but we're also on business partners, bringing businesses to Misk City, collaborate with other enabling partners, and so on. So I think partnership is a key for the next decade.
Thank you.
Thank you. Another question?
Thank you very much for the presentation. So you're talking a lot about partnerships. My question is, would you partner with a foreign non-profit organization?
What?
Would you partner with a non-profit organization?
Would you partner with a non-profit organization?
Yeah, of course. So as I said, not-for-profit, we are a not-for-profit, but we also support not-for-profit through our program. So that is an essential part of what we're doing. An example of not-for-profit is the organization that Dr. Amal has. She started with us to develop certain capacity building program to sustain her organization, but then she's now sustaining ongoing not-for-profit organization. So yes, we do partner with not-for-profit. We have with Bill Gates Foundation as another not-for-profit that we're partnering with. So Misk Foundation as a whole has a diverse angle that we could tap into and build a partnership through.
Thank you.
Any other
Another
questions?
question here?
One.
Thank you guys for your presentation. Very informative speech. My question is related to one point you mentioned in your speech, which is Misk Foundation now is introducing more than 35 sports. And my question is on the strategic part of it. Do you have any priority sports that you're focusing on in the short term or the long term?
ممكن تعيد السؤال ما سمعت مضبوط.
Okay. So my question is, do you have like a list of priority sports that is aligned with the priority list of the programs that has been supported by the Ministry of Sports and the Saudi Olympic Committee?
Yes, so as I tapped into during the discussion, we do have around 5 or 6 sports that are aligned with the national sport priority. So in national sport, they have what they call it road to podium. So number one, our selected sport are among those road to podium. They call it within IOC, SOPC. And also we have the assets. So those are particularly the football, which we already had Riyadh School Football Academy, athletics, swimming, basketball, and tennis. As well as martial arts as a 6th sport. We have the asset for it. We're working now to develop the partnering with operators and to ensure we have a participate, develop, compete type of program, and then potentially be a pipeline to Ministry of Sport through our athlete that we develop.
And this plan is part of the implementation now, or it is just starting as an...
Is
So
it
the
part
plan-
of the implementation, or
Sorry?
is it part of the implementation plan, or?
So we started football now. The remaining is undergoing. Again, the assets are there, is there. We're left with the software, just to fine tune the software to ensure that we have the right partners, we have the right programs, so that we develop the right people.
Okay, thank you so much. And I see the full potential, honestly, because you have the solution for the ecosystem now, because the ecosystem is lacking the infrastructure, but you have the opposite. You have the infrastructure, you're ready to start. So best of luck, and excited to see how successful it will be.
Thank you. All right. Well, I wanted to thank both of you, Mr. Loay and Mr. Abdulaziz, for this very insightful conversation, which showed us that sports at Misk is not just about activity, it's all about identity, talent, and also opportunity. We've heard how infrastructure, programs, youth leadership, and investment are coming together to build an ecosystem where every person can participate, develop, and thrive. Whether through community activations or elite professional pathways, it's clear that the foundation for a vibrant sports future in Saudi Arabia is already being formed in the city. And we are privileged that Misk Foundation and the World Football Summit are providing the space for these kind of conversations that are really important to inspire us to become a more active and vibrant community. Thank you both.
Thanks.